Now,
Yes.
tough times call for tough measures to be taken, and there's some tough advice and some tough pills sometimes that we have to swallow. And I learned about this lady because there's one person who's taken her tough pill, swallowed it, and they're finding themselves feeling a whole lot better now.
Financially freer.
Yes, Crystal Howell is her name. Good morning to you, Crystal.
Good morning.
So you are that tough?
I try to be.
Like Cardi.
I heard the song. They're saying this is a very welcoming intro.
Now, Crystal Howell is a chartered professional accountant and a certified internal auditor. So you know, if she says this is what you could do to help your budget, you know that this is it and it's going to work. Yeah.
Crystal, there are lots of people who are finding themselves really watching the pennies.
Yes.
How do we start to get our eyes and gaze off the pennies and perhaps look to the pounds?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that there are no quick fixes. And if anybody is tuned in trying to find a quick way to be able to make some cash, or it's not going to work long term. If you don't start your planning from now, it's very difficult to see how you will be able to survive long term. And I remember going to many seminars and they say the same thing. If you start planning from now, for 10 years from now, look back at where you were and where you are now, and you'll be able to see the difference. But if you're trying to live your life month to month to month, you're going to have a very difficult time not seeing yourself always trying to make ends meet, always trying to see how you're going to make it through the month.
Or juggling which bill to pay.
Some persons will say, all right, paying the light bill this month, I'm paying this bill. If you're in that situation, you need a long-term plan. You cannot go along with quick fixes. And unfortunately, the situation that we're in right now, we're looking at tough times for at least most persons say 6 years.
6 years.
So you can't do your hold-on measure or your month-to-month hold-on measure for the next 6 years minimum. You have to look at something a bit more concrete.
So how do you haul it back? Because you're not proficient with an Excel spreadsheet, but you want to rein in this situation of your finances so that you can maybe at least feel like you're getting your head above the water. So how do you rein it in?
Well, most persons say they're not proficient, but there's so many opportunities to learn how to be proficient. We go on YouTube so that we can learn how to use our cell phones more efficiently. We go on so that we can find out how to be able to travel and to do all the things that we consider to be fun. But when it comes time to take, say, an hour of your day or your week to learn how to use a tool that will be able to better help you to get your finances in order, we shy away or we say, oh, there are no opportunities to learn or nobody's willing to teach me. That may be true, but you may have to step up and teach yourself.
Do I have to use a spreadsheet?
You do not have to use a spreadsheet.
Good.
When I first started out, when I was very young, I used those blue ledger books, and I wrote down everything in that ledger book.
Everything?
Everything, even the newspaper that I bought on a Saturday, I wrote down in that ledger book. Excel makes it easier because when you're trying to review,
And it can tally for you.
it can tally for you because you get very lazy as you get older and you don't like to add anymore. Excel does the adding for you. It can categorize items a lot easier. So I have things in my spreadsheet that are color coded. So anything food related, anything for gas, you have bills, the color coding helps.
But why is it important for me to write it down?
If you don't write it down, you will not remember. We always have this illusion that we are a better version of ourselves than we really are. You're not going to remember that you spent $50 on this a month from now. And then when you're at the end of the month, all that 50, that 20, that $5, that $10, you don't remember any of it, but your money is gone. And you hear people say all the time, I don't know where my money went.
Right.
You're so
I
right.
just took
People
100
do
from the
say
ATM,
that.
all of a sudden it's all
like,
gone.
Where
Yes.
did it
What
go?
did I do?
I can't remember. Sometimes at the end of the day, I don't remember what I did with my
Correct.
money.
So the point is so that you can clearly see
Yes.
exactly where the money's gone and what you need to adjust.
Correct. And that is the important thing, because the first time that I started writing down everything and where my money gone? And then I looked back and I was like, oh my God.
It went in fast food.
Wow. And then when you categorize it, you realize, wow, I eat a lot. It looks small, but I eat a lot. Might need to change that and go to the grocery store a little more and do some more cooking, and it helps you to identify how you can change your habits.
So it brings sharply into focus exactly what you need to zone in on to adjust. And you can guide and help me through seeing those opportunities and really opening up those opportunities for savings.
Yes.
So where does saving fall in my rating down?
Well, first of all, you have to know what you are saving for. Like anything else, you have to have a plan. Most people, if they're saving arbitrarily, is a lot more difficult because people ignore the fact that we are emotional creatures and that it's not just a matter of I'm going to be disciplined and do this for the sake of doing it. If you attach a purpose to it, you're more likely to stick to it. So am I saving for a college fund? Am I saving for a trip? Am I saving for a business venture? Whatever the purpose is, it helps you to be able to focus and be able to say, make the sacrifice worth it. Because nobody likes to sacrifice just for the sake of it. Nobody likes to deprive themselves just because. But when you have a goal in mind or you have a purpose, you're more likely to say, you know what, I really want to go on this shopping trip, but it may stop me from being able to achieve this particular dream.
Okay, so you said you want people to get into a mindset where they plan from now for the next 10 years.
Yes.
First thing you do is cut out the unnecessary. So you can start to categorize, right? Because
Yes.
I heard you allude to that.
Yes.
Tell us about doing it. Even if we can't deal with the spreadsheet, how do we, type up a little something or write up a little something?
Yes. So I usually have it into some persons going to very narrow categories and some persons going to broad. I have for sure food, you have your utilities, you have your gas, you have the things you have to spend money on. And then there's this nice category some people call other,
Yes.
because that's where everything else goes, the variable expenses, and you have to pull out because it's not every variable expense you can cut back. So if you had to take your child to the doctor, that's a variable, but it's not something you could have avoided.
Right.
And we'll get in probably in another series in terms of how we manage some of those variables. But for now, you're looking at your variables and you're trying to figure out what do I have to have in my life? What can I not, do without? And what are some of the things I can say, you know what? Maybe I've been a bit too wild with this. So if you're a person who's accustomed to eating out every single week and you realize you just can't maintain that and keep your goals in mind, are you willing to say, you know what? I'm going to have to put that aside. And the mistake a lot of persons do is to try to cut out everything.
That'll make you a very sad person.
What is the point of life?
You got that right. What's the point of working?
What's the point of working and life? And I mean, there's some persons who are capable of living a very frugal and pleasure-free life, but some of us are human beings and we
Yes.
need to have
A little bit of guilty pleasures.
So quickly, before we wrap up, Crystal, so the person now who says that cup of coffee gives them life and they go buy a gourmet cup of coffee every day, would they need to cut that out
It
or
depends.
down?
Do you know how much of your salary, of your
Goes into
income,
that.
of everything else can be spent on those guilty pleasures? So if you're making $1,000 a month and your expenses, your things you must spend your money on is coming up to say $600 a month, you have $400 left back. Do you know how much you need to save to reach your goals?
Good. So once you change your perspective,
Yeah.
this is a process we're going to be going through
Yes.
with you, Crystal. So as of today,
Yes.
because next week we want to be able to review,
Yes.
Yeah.
what do you want all of our viewers to start to do today?
Get a
Write down
pen.
everything. Write down, if nothing else, because no one can work with you, no one can help you if we do not know what your current lifestyle is like. So if you don't do that, it's very difficult to start.
So as of today, you want Pearson, Cassandra, and John
Anyone
Q. Public,
else,
all of you,
everybody.
to start to write everything
Write
down. So I'm going to
everything
start
down.
with my salary.
Yes.
I'm going to state then whether I do a rent, whether I have to pay a mortgage, I write those down.
Yes.
I write down how much I plan to spend at the
Yeah.
supermarket.
All the
every
critical
detail.
Keep your bills, keep all your bills, because you don't remember when you get home, you don't
You
remember.
just crush them up and throw them away.
Exactly. Keep
Yeah.
them in your purse, and when you get home, write down, okay, I spent $585.18 on groceries. You write it all down.
This is going to be a very interesting journey,
So we
Crystal
start with
Howell.
that.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, Crystal is a certified internal auditor and a chartered professional accountant.
Yes.
Yeah, so she knows what she's talking about.